Hello and welcome. You're watching News Now on GOA365. I'm Subhashish and here are the key updates shaping Goa and the world today. 17 dead, millions displaced as Super Typhoon Ragasa batters Philippines, Taiwan and China. Protests over statehood demand turn deadly in Ladakh. Clashes leave 4 dead and dozens injured. Goa's communal harmony under threat after boy allegedly coerced to chant pro-Pakistan slogans in Margao. And now for our top story for the day. Goa has long been a mosaic of faiths, Hindus, Muslims and Christians living side by side. But tonight that peace is being tested. In Margao, a man allegedly forced a boy to shout pro-Pakistan slogans, which civic society investigated and found to be a major attempt to fuel fissures among communities.
As elections approach and the political rhetoric is being ratcheted up, locals say an unidentified man coaxed the minor into repeating the slogan, offering him money. Community leaders warn that this is not just mischief, it is a provocation aimed at pitting religion against religion in a state where coexistence is a way of life.
ल्हान भुरग्याचो हो जो व्हायरल केल्लो तो सामको क्लियर कट इंडिकेशन की खंय तरी झगडी पेटोवपाक एक अटेम्प्ट आसलो आनी ह्या टायमार असले जेन्ना अटेम्प्ट जाता जाल्यार पुलिसांनी स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन घेवपाक जाय. जो कोण व्हिडिओ केला ताका ही इज द मेजर कित्याक तो मायनर ही हॅज नॉट स्पॉन्टेनियसली सांगला ताणी नारे घायला ना ताणी तो क्वेश्चनाचेर आन्सर दिला एक क्वेश्चनाचेर आनी इवन तो व्हिडिओ पळयलो जाल्यार तो थिंग ताका लसी काय कितें दिता तो ताका सांगता पयलीं दी म्हळ्यार ताका आस दिल्ली आनी इतलें म्हाका होय डावट मारता की पयलीं ताका लसी दिवन ताका आस दिला आनी मागीर तो भायर काडला व्हिडिओ आनी ते सिक्वेन्स चेंज केला हें दिसता. पूण मेन आमचो हें चार्ज म्हळ्यार कितें की हे कोण जे आमचे गोंय जे पीस आहा आनी कॉम्युनल हार्मनी आहा ते डिस्टर्ब करपाक सोदता तांचेर पयलें एक्शन घेवपाक जाय ताजेर पयलें एक्शन घेवपाक जाय. हो जो कोण व्हिडिओ रिकॉर्डिंग केलो आनी व्हायरल केलो इट इज सामकें हांव स्ट्रॉंग डिमांड कित्याक फायनली कितें जातलें आज सगळे हे सांपड म्हण तोंड आसा पूण चुकून सपोज हें आवट ऑफ हँड गेल्लें आनी हांगा मारामारी जाल्ली कोण रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी घेता आशिल्लो हें पयलीं सुद्दां आन्सर करपाक जाय एडमिनिस्ट्रेशनान आनी त्या खातीर आमची डिमांड आहा की पयलीं सुद्दां ते जो कोण रिकॉर्डिंग केला आनी व्हायरल केला ताजेर पयलें एक्शन घेवपाक जाय. सेकंडली ह्याच कारणाक लागून आमी जो हेज्या पयलीं डिमांड केल्लो आसा मायनॉरिटी कमिशन जाय म्हण आमकां मायनॉरिटी कमिशन ह्या कारणाक लागून जाय. आज तो भुरगो गरीब ताजी फॅमिली गरीब तांकां सपोर्ट कांयच ना सो तांकां डिफेन्स ना कित्याक तांचेर वयल्यान प्रेशर येता तुमी बाल भावना घालतले हांगा घालतले तो प्रेशर हाडटा तांचेर आनी फायनली ती कंप्लेन सुद्दां विड्रॉ करपा सारकी ह्या परिस्थितीचेर येता. आतां ती कंप्लेन विड्रॉ करते एक डिफरंट कित्याक ते चेड्याचें पूण मेन हें म्हणल्यार जो कोण कॉम्युनल हार्मनी आमची डिस्टर्ब करपाक सोदतालो ताजेर एक्शन जावपाकूच जाय. बाय ऑल मिन्स आमचो स्ट्रॉंग डिमांड आसा आनी चायल्ड वेलफेअर सेंटर आसा हरशीं सगळे कोण वयता ते चायल्ड वेलफेअर सेंटरान हाजेर दखल घेवची.
Locals warn that this is no prank. It's a calculated provocation meant to create communal tension.
हो जो व्हिडिओ कोणें काडला न्हू हे मनशान पयलीं ते भुरग्याक लस्सी दिला पंजाब सिनान लस्सी पिवून दिला खंय आनी मागीर ताका शिकयला अशी उलय हे कर म्हणून आनी सगळे उलोवन जातकीर व्हिडिओ रिकॉर्ड करून जातकीर मागीर तेज्या हातीन 100 रुपया दिला खंय बरो उलयला म्हणून. म्हजे कडेन फकत एकूच एक रिक्वेस्ट आहा की ते मनशाक जे कोणें हें केला ताका हाडून केस रजिस्टर करून ताका भितर उडोवचें आनी आमगे मडगांवान शांती करची. आमगे गोंया भितर डिवायड करपाचो प्रयत्न करनाका आयज पासून सदां म्हणटाय गोंयकार आमी बरे भाशेन एकवटान येयल्या रावले आनी भाशेन दवरपाचे थोडे लोक गोंयान भितर येयले आनी आमगे शांती प्रकार आतां भुरग्याक यूज केलो हो भुरग्याक यूज केलो हें सारकें न्हू. सो आतां ताका आपयत म्हणला PN 6 वरांचेर आमकां आमी डिमांड केला तो कोण तो चोवपा जाय न्हू. हे भाशेन भुरग्यांक काडप हे भाशेन उलोवप आख्खें व्हायरल जाला तूं कितलें करपा जाल्यार तें मुखार येवन आपूण करपा जाल्यार भुरग्याक कित्याक यूज केला.
Locals have called the act a direct assault on Goa's tradition of harmony. They urge that the culprit be prosecuted before such apparent deliberate methods are used to violate the secular fabric of the society and must not be allowed to succeed. Ramesh Naik Raut, Lindsay Menezes and Vaishnavi Salgaonkar for GOA365.
The Goa Lokayukta has remained headless since December 2024, leaving corruption cases in limbo. Now the High Court has stepped in, directing the state government to explain what action it has taken to fill the long vacant post. The court's intervention comes amid mounting pressure and a growing backlog of cases awaiting adjudication.
The Bombay High Court at Goa has asked the state government to submit details on the steps taken to appoint a new Lok Ayukta, a critical anti-corruption post that has remained vacant for nearly 10 months. The direction came during a hearing on a related matter, and the court has scheduled the next hearing on October 13th.
Today, the matter was there before the Honorable High Court today. Mr. Trajan Dimalo is the petitioner. We have filed a petition before the Lok Ayukta against the corruption, against the IDC. Right? So the matter was that a hearing has taken place for the last 4-5 months. The hearing has been taken place. Last December, the matter was going on. So after that, there was no hearing taken place. The presiding judge was not presiding. The court was vacant. So we came before the Honorable High Court. What happened to the matter? Before the Lok Ayukta, nothing happening, so and so. So today the matter was taken up. So the Honorable Judge has directed the state to giving the report to the Honorable High Court, asking what has happened, steps have you taken for the appointment of the Lok Ayukta judge. So it is there, and it is kept on 13th of October.
It is now 13th of October.
13th of October.
For argument or for
no,
see, the directions have been given by the Honorable High Court asking the government to place on record the steps taken for an appointment of a Lok Ayukta, because the Lok Ayukta vacancy is pending from December, almost 8-10 months. You understand? So court has taken cognizance of a petition and has demanded from them to place on record what are the steps being taken.
The Goa Lok Ayukta has been non-functional since December 2024, following the retirement of retired Justice Ambadas Joshi. As of now, 16 corruption cases are pending before the body, with 4 new complaints filed between December 2024 and June 2025 yet to be acted upon, Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant recently informed the Legislative Assembly. The prolonged vacancy has left Goa's anti-corruption institution paralyzed, raising concerns over the delay in justice and erosion of public faith in governance accountability. Justice Joshi had been appointed as Lok Ayukta in April 2021, nearly 6 months after his predecessor, retired Justice P.K. Mishra, stepped down in December 2020. The government had initially selected retired Justice U.V. Bakre as Joshi's replacement, but he withdrew his consent in March 2021, citing personal reasons. This marks the second time in recent years that the state has struggled to ensure continuity in this crucial role. The current lapse has only added to the backlog of unresolved corruption complaints, even as civil society continues to demand stronger institutional mechanisms to fight graft. Dylan Rodriguez, Manish Parab and Muzaif Sheikh for GOA365.
We'll be back shortly with more news after this short break. Welcome back. Super Typhoon Ragasa has left a deadly trail across East Asia, killing at least 17 people in Taiwan and the Philippines, forcing nearly 2 million to evacuate in southern China, and lashing Hong Kong and Macau with towering waves and destructive winds. Once a Category 5 superstorm, Ragasa has weakened slightly but remains on course to hit Guangdong's crowded cities.
Typhoon Ragasa, the strongest tropical cyclone of 2025, has unleashed catastrophic destruction across multiple Asian territories, killing at least 17 people in Taiwan and 4 in the Philippines before making landfall in southern China. The storm has impacted tens of millions and forced mass evacuations, raising urgent concerns over climate resilience in the region. In Taiwan, a barrier lake burst in Hualien County, unleashing a torrent of water that destroyed homes, swept away cars, and left 124 people missing, according to local officials. Authorities say the lake, formed after earlier landslides, had been monitored for potential overflow but wasn't expected to breach so soon. It hit like a tsunami, said one resident of Guangfu Township, where the most severe damage occurred. More than 7,600 people were evacuated, with others taking shelter on rooftops and upper floors. The Taiwanese government has launched a full-scale rescue operation and announced an official inquiry into the late warnings. In Hong Kong, massive waves battered coastal areas, flooding streets and submerging hotels. Viral videos captured waves crashing through the Fullerton Hotel's glass doors and sweeping guests off their feet. At least 60 people were injured, and temporary shelters housed over 790 residents as the city remained under Typhoon Signal 8. The financial hub's infrastructure, however, largely held strong, with its stock market staying open, a sign of increased storm readiness. But other parts of the region weren't so lucky. The southern Chinese province of Guangdong, including cities like Shenzhen, Guangzhou and Dongguan, is now in the storm's direct path. Authorities have evacuated nearly 1.9 million residents, shut down public transport, suspended schools and businesses, and deployed over 38,000 emergency personnel. The China Marine Authority issued its highest red alert for storm surges, warning of waves up to 3 meters high. Meanwhile, Zhuhai and Macau saw dramatic flooding, with casinos and high-rises evacuated, streets submerged and parts of city infrastructure damaged. Climate scientists point to warming oceans and more humid atmospheres as contributors to Ragasa's unprecedented strength. The typhoon reached Category 5 status over the Pacific, fueled by ideal storm-forming conditions, before weakening slightly to Category 3, while still capable of large-scale destruction. As the storm continues moving inland, cleanup efforts have begun in the Philippines and Taiwan. However, with the typhoon season still far from over and another storm, Opong, forming in the Philippines, East Asia remains on high alert. Manish Parab and Vaishnavi Salgaonkar for GOA365.
Protests in Ladakh escalated into violent confrontations on Wednesday, with demonstrators demanding statehood and the inclusion of the region under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. The unrest, which involved hundreds of youth, led to clashes with police, killing at least 4 and injuring around 70.
In the capital, Leh, protesters marched through the streets chanting slogans like "Don't snatch our rights" and "Set the BJP office on fire." Security forces responded by firing tear gas shells and using baton charges after demonstrators reportedly pelted stones. The protests, initially peaceful, turned chaotic when protesters set the BJP office and police vehicles on fire. The ongoing agitation seeks to push the central government for an earlier dialogue on the demands, including the grant of statehood and protections for Ladakh's tribal population under the 6th schedule. It also calls for the establishment of a separate public service commission to address the region's unemployment issues. Climate activist Sonam Wangchuk, who has been on a hunger strike for the past 15 days in solidarity with the protest, ended his fast in response to the rising violence. Wangchuk, while calling for peaceful demonstrations, acknowledged the anger behind the youth's actions, stating they were frustrated by a lack of jobs and their perceived denial of democratic rights. He urged the government to accelerate talks on Ladakh's future, moving up the scheduled meeting date from October 6th to the end of the month. The protests came amid reports that 2 people, including a woman, were hospitalized during the hunger strike, further fueling the unrest. As tensions flared, the Kargil Democratic Alliance announced a shutdown in Kargil district on Thursday, backing the call for statehood and the inclusion of Ladakh under the 6th schedule. The KDA expressed full support for Wangchuk's hunger strike and emphasized that the upcoming talks should focus exclusively on these demands. The violence on Wednesday led to at least 4 deaths and more than 70 injuries as protesters clashed with police and engaged in acts of arson. As the situation continues to unfold, local leaders and activists are calling for calm and urging a peaceful resolution to the ongoing crisis. With the protests intensifying, the future of Ladakh's political and administrative status hangs in the balance as both the local population and the central government brace for the next phase of negotiations. Lindsay Menezes and Muzef Shaikh for Goa 365.
Don't go anywhere, we will be back shortly after this small break. Welcome back, and lastly for the weather. After a hot and humid Wednesday, Goa is back on alert. The IMD has issued a yellow warning until the 30th for heavy rain and strong winds.
The dry spell midweek looks short-lived. Stormy weather is set to return. Clouds are thickening and widespread showers are expected to hit the state over the next few days with the risk of intense bursts in some areas. Thursday is shaping up to be a wet day. Expect mostly cloudy skies and widespread rain with isolated heavy showers across both districts. Strong winds may sweep through as well. IMD has pegged the day's maximum at 30 degrees Celsius and the minimum at 25 degrees Celsius. Goa on yellow alert till 30th. Heavy rain with strong winds predicted for alert period. Mostly cloudy skies with widespread rain on Thursday. Maximum and minimum temperatures Thursday 30 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius. Bureau Report Goa 365 with inputs from IMD.
That wraps up our top stories for today. You've been watching News Now on Goa 365. For more in-depth reports and stories, visit our website at www.goa365.tv. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Goa365TV for continuous coverage and updates on stories that matter. Stay informed, stay safe, and we'll see you again this time tomorrow on Goa 365.